where shadows lie. Here they find a brighter sky. Every step, every mile, they're reaching for the American style. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. Factories hum with a steady grace, ideas born in this boundless space. A light bulb flash, a towering steel in every corner. The promise feels real. From the ground to the stars, we're built on dreams, we're raising bars. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hey folks, welcome back. It is Sunday, May 31st, 2026, just over a year since the first South Africans arrived in the United States on the 12th of May, 2025. Since then, 7,000 South Africans have come to America under the refugee program, and that number is about to rise significantly if they fulfill the cap that they just approved. Another 10,000 South Africans in the last 4 months of the year, June, July, August, September. So we'll see what happens there. That's the big news. That's occurred since the last one. Someone asked, what's that little thing next to my name? That is your little avatar, your little symbol for membership. You have a moai. That is a moai from Easter Island. And I had to come up with different ones for my program. That's one of the ones I came up with. I haven't a long time looked to see if I could create new emojis. I used to make custom emojis all the time. That was a big deal for people a long time ago. I see that the program is losing interest, apparently. Only 162 people currently here. Perhaps that number will climb as we go. But we're not here for numbers. We're here to inform people as best we can. So some of the news that's occurred since the last one, because I was on the road and didn't have a chance to do all of these refugee coffee Klatsches on Sundays. The administration has sent the notification to Congress, and it's done. It's a done deal. People claim it's not true. Also, News 24 continues to label refugees as Afrikaners when it's not simply Afrikaners. They ignore the U.S. Embassy website. An objective news organization would go to the U.S. Embassy website and report the facts. And so this is all you need to know about the likes of the IOL, News 24, the Washington Post, New York Times, and others. They continue to call it an Afrikaner refugee program, although the U.S. papers have begun to ameliorate their wording because they realize that they're coming in for criticism because they're not objective. They reveal their leftist bent and bigotry against the program because they call it an Afrikaner program when it's clearly not that. za.usembassy.gov since the 10th of February 2025 has clearly stated that racial minorities, and I have clearly interviewed Indians, coloreds, and black South Africans here. So they continue to lie about the program a year into it, and that's fine. Let the country be drained of its human capital, and they can keep complaining that it's just whites and look around and they'll find nobody around them except their beggars that they want to be illiterate and dependent upon them. Martin, yeah, toilets on planes are not so easy. They're not made for handicapped people. They're not made for normal people. They're always tiny and tight. So that's the big news is the refugee cap is now 17,000 South Africans in this fiscal year. We have 7,000 already. Expect to see the numbers increase quickly if they try to fulfill that quota. So that's one thing. Another thing is that, and I've cautioned people about this all along, there are lots of unsubstantiated things posted by people that don't know what they're talking about. If people make claims that are unfounded and they have no basis and experience in what they're talking about, consider the source. I'm not attacking the person who wrote this. I'm not going to mention who wrote it, but earlier this week, someone posted something apparently on Facebook, and they said all these things that are simply unsubstantiated. And while I said that that may be that person's view, it's not substantiated. There's no evidence of what they're claiming. And so you need to really be very careful and circumspect about how that stuff works, folks. You really do. If someone claims this, that, and the other, like someone claimed that children are being taken away and people are being evicted who are refugees, and that by the end of the year, thousands of South African refugees will face a similar situation. There's zero evidence to support that. Now, there is evidence of people who face eviction. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. People who have not succeeded in the refugee cases. On this side, there's a couple cases where that's the challenge for people. Also, I recently became aware of something, but it's third-hand information, so it's useless. So I won't mention names or locations. But I did receive a voice note from someone who said, I know the person with Child Protective Services. There's a person located in a state where apparently they must have been spanking their child, and the neighbors called Child Protective Services. That has nothing to do with being evicted from an apartment, has nothing to do with anything. Child abuse is child abuse. Now, I don't know the case, and I'm not going to speak whether it was child abuse or not, but the bottom line is somebody believes there's child abuse and they report you to Child Protective Services, they have a legal obligation and responsibility to intervene and hopefully get sorted out. But people are taking that case, apparently, and claiming that people are being evicted from their homes and their children taken away from them. That doesn't even pass muster. First off, the state doesn't evict you from a home. If you're evicted from a home, you're evicted by the property owner, unless you refuse to go and it takes a court order, then the cops drag you out of there. But when you lose your lease or you lose your property because you haven't paid your bills, it is the owner who kicks you out, not the police. There's no Child Protective Service involved in that. But people believe whatever they see on Facebook, whatever they see in these YouTube, or not YouTube, in these YouTube videos, but in these WhatsApp groups. And you need to be more circumspect and use better judgment than that. This emotional response to things are simply untrue. Like a certain content creator who slanders me on a daily basis, that person has produced no evidence of anything. They just sit around and run their mouth all the time. And the fact that people believe that is just, that's on them. Yep. Exactly. It's strange to me that all these nasty things are claimed to happen, yet they don't bother to contact you. Of course, snippets, I agree. I mean, who has been in the forefront of helping people in this program? Others want to claim that mantle, and they're welcome to do it. They've actually done it, but they haven't done it. Most of these people are simply people giving people bad advice, telling them to out-migrate and going other locations, and they suffer even greater. That's not a solution. It can be a solution, but it's not the solution. And it's the default position of a couple people who've been making content on YouTube, and they've caused great harm to people. I know because I've spoken to people who suffered, who listened to them. It's kind of like the lady who contacted me last year after she was swindled out of 50,000 Rand, she claimed, by the Mr. Fundamental guy who got caught swindling people, telling him, I can put you on a list. You'll be among the first to go. I have contacts, the embassy. Who is this clown? He doesn't have anything. He looks like a weasel. And in fact, he was a weasel, and he defrauded people, and she lost 50,000 Rand. Now, the sad part for her is that she'd actually watched my videos before she saw him, And she listened to me, and I warned her about people swindling you. And then because he was an Afrikaner, a Fundamental, not to pick on the Fundamentals, but that was his name, because he was an Afrikaner, just like many Afrikaners, she listened to whatever he had to say, and she got led down a primrose path and lost 50,000 rand. It's sad for her, but I can't help her if she doesn't listen. The problem is that most South Africans have not been outside South Africa before and therefore believe the propaganda because they don't know any better. Well, that's true, Phoenix. So I just did a little, AI on my channel to look up some stuff. And apparently I had, where's it at? Where's this thing at? I'm trying to find it here. 49,661 new viewers in the last 28 days. Now, I've not done a very good job of converting them to subscribers because only got 800 of them to be subscribers. So I need to do better there. But I mean, that's in line with what the norm is. So, but it's disappointing. And that's because people aren't simply finding the stuff. Yep. But I've back up my views are back up to 1.1 million, which puts me at the top of many of those content creators. But you have to convert those people into viewers because then they watch the program and they hear the truth. Yep. Your children are 17 and 14. What happens to them if something happens to you and your husband? What do you mean if something happens to you and your husband? Where? In South Africa? I'm not a subject matter expert on what happens to your kids in South Africa. Martin Fundamental says, I want to know about your SF number. When you get an SF number, you have a case. Until then, you don't have a case. Don't forget the poll. Okay, yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that pizza party. And thank you for the 40 Rand. Start a poll. Okay, here we go. Okay. Number 2. Okay. There you go. Oh, now I see it there. Okay, we have please have a poll. No, I did the poll differently than what you wanted. I have to do a different poll. That's not the poll I came up with. I didn't see your message till after I came up with the poll. Sorry. But there aren't many people here, just 268, so it's not going to be the most informative poll. You mentioned spanking. There's loads of rumors around regarding this. Can one spank their child in the U.S. or would it be considered abuse? Well, Neff, I can't answer that question because local authorities respond to this differently. Corporal punishment is not a crime. However, abuse is abuse. Whipping a child in public is different than spanking a child. So, it depends where you're at. The smartest thing is just discipline your children at home. And don't be abusive. 93 degrees in Oklahoma. That's hot, Alan. Strange to me that all these nasty things are claimed. Yep, okay. Beverly says, thanks for all you're doing for us. You appreciate it. You're very welcome. Now there's movement on my case. I'm ferrying the flight as a disabled who has poor balance. Okay, says Martin. It's been an honor to be part of your channel. Thank you for all the great content and hard work. All the best, sir. Thank you for your membership super chat there, Chaos Juggler. Hey, Happy Chappy. Welcome back to you as well. Well, Safa Dreams wrote that earlier. I didn't see it. Bambi Slayer, refugees can make it any state in the country. The one place it's almost impossible to make it is Hawaii. That's why we don't send refugees there. The one place that's very challenging beyond that is Alaska, where things are very expensive because nothing is made there except snow and babies. Yep. And they dig up oil, but that's about it. Timber. Yeah, Alaska is very expensive. Everything is imported. Nothing's manufactured there. So, and it's part of the U.S., so it's very expensive. And Adele is going to South Bend. South Bend is the home of Notre Dame University, so there's lots of jobs associated with Notre Dame. It was a majority white town at 63% just 20 years ago. Now it's supposedly just 50% white, but the biggest growth has been Hispanics from 8% to 25%. But most of those Hispanics are white, so take it for whatever you want. Black population has held steady, it's declined slightly. It's a town of 103,000, so I mean, I'm not a big fan. Well, I don't know why it's called South Bend, except it's on the south bend of a river, which is located in the northern part of Indiana. Teresa, welcome to you. Michelle Erasmus, Madeline, thank you for your membership. Happy Slappy. Okay, vodka models here. Thing of Nouns, Diana Thompson, Road Captain Kev. Okay, what else am I missing here? Something needs something to complain about, otherwise they don't have nothing to say. Well, Happy Chappy, some other people need to slander other people to make them feel happy too. You know, it's fascinating. The attacks on me from all these people, not one of the things they've ever said has been true. Not one. Not one of the claims they've made has ever been backed up by evidence. They use pieces of information to create a narrative and lie about it. It's like the whole thing with Thea von Straten and her husband. And they got caught in a lie. The person who made the videos got caught in a lie. She attacked me because she's stupid. I actually, I've got the evidence and I present it, and then she just doubled down and attacked me again. This is stupid people. Yep. And people get away with it because of social media. They're given platforms. By the way, I'm not on news. I'm not on Biz News anymore. I don't know if that's permanent or it's just a temporary thing, but they want to rotate people. They never told me that when they asked me to do it. I didn't get paid, so I'm fine with that. If I'm on Biz News, that's their prerogative. I don't lose any sleep over that. I never got paid for those efforts, and they always came at an unfortunate time for me. I will say that my views are among the highest on Biz News, and that the main host of that program is losing viewers every day. So good luck to them. Like I said, I don't know if I won't be back on the program. I'll be back on, but I mean, that just saves me a lot of time that I was spending on that. You mentioned Spank. Okay, I already got that. And Bambi, still don't understand your question. Hopefully you responded to that. How are you doing? You're on USA to this week, says Reno. Okay, Reno, I'm okay. Where are you going? Trucker says, not just one content creator that's doing the name shame game. I get updates from almost 60 people that's doing the... Are you saying there's 60 people that are defaming me? Trucker for life? That's a very concerted effort. Adele, there's problems with everywhere. Every place got problems. Here, there's too much development. I moved into a peri-urban place that was very thinly populated and nice, with farm fields and soybean fields and maize fields and, and wheat fields all around me and a public park. And now I got freaking people walking through with their dogs crap into my yard. They don't clean their crap up. That's a $500 fine. They don't do it. I had to put a camera out in front just to catch them. We got people driving through the neighborhood like banshees because they connected a road in what used to be a horse ranch that's now got a bunch of developments that are half the size of my house and cost twice as what I paid for my house just a few years ago. No, and then they just built these 2 apartment complexes less than a kilometer from my house, which already caused a major traffic jam and a major issue. It's out of control. Every place has issues. We had last year idiots going around and were porch pirates, not in my neighborhood, but a neighborhood just about a kilometer the other direction from my house. They were stealing people's packages. They were caught. Yep. And they were arrested. So every place has got problems. But some places are better than other places. End of April this year, so a long way ahead. Possibly, Mark, you never know. Some people come up very quickly. Which states are near the Great Lake? New York, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana. Best KFC kernel. Okay. Help with advice. I got an email on the 5th of this month. I'm still waiting for my ticket. What do you mean you got an email? Okay, let's deal with that. What email, Nexus? That doesn't help me. You got an email. That doesn't tell me anything. Did you receive an email telling you what date you're flying? If you didn't receive tickets, that's suspicious. Or did you receive an email telling you you can be prepared to leave in 2 to 4 weeks? You're not going anywhere if that's what you got. Somebody did their 3rd medical because of cannabis use. I told you guys not to do drugs. Find a comment. They never give proof of this people are going so bad with, but we all know you give us proof of good and very bad. Yeah, I have. Well, you haven't gone to a 2nd medical for disclosing cannabis use. That's not true. That's not true. You were tested for cannabis use. You probably tested positive. That's why you have to do another medical. You have to be clean of it. It's an illegal substance. Snippet said, what struck me about the interview tonight is that a single person can find 3 jobs within walking distance of their home. Yeah, 3 jobs. Amazon, Fairview, and something else. Andrea, yes, YouTube does that intentionally. That's one way. What's one way that they limit how people can find the channel. Yep. Please add people that have come over in that group. What group are you talking about? You see, guys give me half sentences. I can't take action on half sentences. I don't know what that means. Add people to what group? Do people whose cases are linked together travel or different? No, they don't travel at the same time. Meinhardt, Schmidt. Nope. There's no guarantee you'll travel with people whose cases are linked. The purpose of a linked case is not that you travel at the same time. The purpose of a linked case is you wind up in the same location, same city. That's the purpose of it. So that's Utopi's case wasn't linked to his daughters, and they wound up in different places. You can travel in a linked case like the Oosthuizens did in Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, but that's just worked out well for them. But there's no guarantee of it. We're not going to hold a case up, send you over because we're waiting for someone else, which is what Erica was. The people that was involved in a case with blamed her for their case being held up, but it wasn't her fault. It had nothing to do with hers. She asked not to go when they contacted her in August, and now she's being blamed, but it has nothing to do with her. It's just a link. If you're in USA, we pass away. Are you ill, Bambi? Why would you ask such a morose question? What will happen to your children? Well, then they'll go into foster care unless you have a relative here that can take them. That's how it works. Are you planning on expiring? Your child is 17, your child's 18, then your child can take custody of your 14, then 15-year-old if they want that. My mom and my son got approvals. I'm still waiting, but I did know it'll come. Okay, says Lizette. Okay. Rainer sent me a WhatsApp. Oh, to Hendo, okay. Rainer's going to Denver. Okay, well, then you can hang out with Fonz. Is Fonz here? Alan says, same as Johan Sloot, but the game is for you to sue, and this will lure you back to South Africa. Then you'll have exactly where they want you. Well, I don't know what they want from me. They've got nothing on me, so they can want one hand and crap in the other hand. Ghost Town. Yep, I've put in complaints on some of them. Don't get their updates anymore. That many people. That's a concern after attack me. So ask yourself this question. Why are all these people attacking me? Why? Not one of them ever makes a statement. You saw that the Sloot video was edited and a fake laugh track added to it. He took a laugh that occurred in that stream and linked it up with the statement that wasn't with that statement. Yeah, so yeah, so I mean, you know, none of them ever have any facts. They're just ad hominem attacks. Thank you for sharing some of your photos you took in South Africa in your previous live. Oh, I share them all the time, Chazelle. I share photos all the time on night owls mostly. Otherwise, if I do it during the news program, oh, he's just full of himself. Nope. I share my experiences with other people. Bismarck, North Dakota. Cold. Almost Canada. But it's nice. Yep. Rian says, follow the Colonel's advice and live life as normal. Yep. Oh, an email, be ready 2 to 4 weeks, busy behind. Okay, that doesn't mean you're leaving in 2 to 4 weeks, Nexus. Okay? But be prepared. Here's the problem. When they do send you the ticket, it's usually with almost no notice. Some people get 3 days notice. That's ridiculous. They should notify you the moment the ticket is booked. So just pay attention to your mail, look in your spam folder, and keep waiting for that. Okay, but don't freak out. Peter Hutton says, thank you for doing everything you've done. Continuing for Africana. Please excuse the ones that don't do the research. Trucker, stop using medical cannabis with a certificate when you started using the program, okay? My sister's daughter has been placed in my care through the court. I have that paper. Will police statements be accepted? Whoa, what the heck? It just jumped on me again. Ugh. God bless it. There we go. Will police statement be accepted from her parents? No, I don't think it will. You have to have court paperwork. If your sister just gave you a child, that's not going to be sufficient. You need some sort of legal documentation that you've adopted or you're the caregiver. You can't just take a child out. That's a South African thing. That's not a U.S. thing. You're going to have to resolve that with South African authorities. I don't know what the answer is, but I would imagine you have to have custody. An American link, is this preferred? No, it's not snippets. No, it doesn't mean anything. Having an American link doesn't guarantee you get here. It doesn't make your thing go any faster. It also doesn't guarantee you're going to be here. As I said, my friend, whom I've known for years, listed me as his American link in Pennsylvania. He asked if he could do it. I said, sure, that's fine. And then he asked to go to Florida, and he went to Wisconsin. Doesn't mean anything. What it means is they're going to reach out to your link, potentially, and ask them if they can sponsor you. That's what they're going to do, try to put the financial burden or the helping burden on the person who's your link. That's what it means. I suppose most people prefer not to have. Why would you not want to have an American link snippets? Exactly. Ghost Phantom said you had that 2 to 4 week email 3 months ago. Exactly. That's what I said. It doesn't mean you're leaving 2 to 4 weeks. Read the message thoroughly. Yep. That sounds like Kai. I did disclose I've eaten gummies in the past. Medical showed complete success. My medicals expire next month. No approval yet. Well, that has nothing to do with, and I would suggest you don't be messing with gummies. I mean, you stay away from THC. Your medicals will expire, and then you'll have to redo them. Unfortunate, but that's the way the process works. Linked with our friend, and she does warn us that it might delay our case since our friend is behind in the process. No, that's not true. That's not true. CWS is lying to you. They're lying to you, or they're misinformed. That's not true. When I applied, the Colonel's site came up. I just subbed here, sorry, nowhere else. Okay, all right. Thank you, Mark. Our medical expired on 20th of May. Still under review since March. The wait is excruciating, says Sonia. Yeah, they don't want the truth to go out. That's why there's so many people attacking me. Yep. I mean, News 24 refuses to call the program a South African refugee program, which is what it is for racial minorities. They call it. And their excuse for that is that, well, it's listed as that. Trump called it that. Well, that's not what the website says. That is not what the U.S. Embassy website says, and has not said since the outset. It has been correct since the very beginning. U.S. Embassy. Let's go there now and take a look at it. It's been the same unless it's changed this week. Okay. Where is the refugee program? I don't even see that here anymore. There we go. Show more. There we go. Refugee admissions program. Okay. November 4th was updated. Okay. To be eligible, must be an Afrikaner ethnicity or be a member of a racial minority in South Africa. There it is. News 24 is a fraudulent organization, and the fraud is right there. There's no objectivity in the reporting. They intentionally mislead people with their stories by lying about it. And Tom Eaton, the shameful, opinionated columnist on Times Live, he continues to moan about why people aren't using quotes to use the term refugee, because that's what a refugee is. So he doesn't like what refugees are because it doesn't fit his race hustling narrative of the world. A refugee is someone granted protection outside their home country because it is unsafe to return. They undergo a vetting process before entering a host country. U.S. government. Yep. Yep. As opposed to a migrant, an asylum seeker, or internally displaced person. Yep. Applied in February 2025, then, well, you didn't. You expressed an interest, Silent Joe. You didn't apply. Well, if you wrote in February 2025 in PRM email, you expressed your interest. The full questionnaire was in November. That is a long wait. You're welcome, Silent Joe. They asked if we want to travel together and live together or travel separately and live separately but in the same area. Okay. What's with the YouTube ads? At first, well, Varoshka, you mean to be getting a free ride all this time? You're not watching any ads to generate revenue for me? Yeah, Safa Dreams, they're attacking me because I tell the truth and they're jealous. What's sad about it is that people actually believe nonsense like that. And when you see someone doing that, I mean, you should question things, you know? Interview March 30th. Whoops. Whoa, come back here. What the hell? Come on. March 30th, and with USS, and did not hear anything. Your sentence makes no sense. We had our interview 30 March and with USCIS and did not hear anything. My case background check was completed, success, and then again to progress. What does it mean? Oh my gosh, you obviously are new to the program. How many times we have to tell people this? Stop looking at the portal. It's not complete. And in fact, Mad Max came here and his said still, awaiting approval, and he was already in America. It's stop. 30 March, April, May. It's been 2 months since you had your interview. It takes time to do investigations. You need to be patient. That's a really unrealistic expectation. What does it mean? It means that they're doing internal processes which they shouldn't share with you, but they let people see it, and all it does is cause chaos. Chaos Juggler, 140 rand. To everyone still waiting for approvals or travel tickets, stay strong, keep the faith. Delays don't mean denial. Your opportunity can come. Exactly, Chaos Juggler. It doesn't mean denial. So, Jasper, I want to say that since the start of our application, we've had only kind and dignified treatment for all the people assisting us. Yeah, well, there you go. Well, that's good to hear, Jasper. I'm glad to hear that. Angie's still waiting for first contact. I'm placed close to friends. My caseworker called my friend last week, and they arranged that my friend collect me from the airport, but I haven't heard anything yet. Okay, well, so you haven't got your tickets yet, Safari Lady? That's a bit concerning because that's less than 2 weeks away. 10 June is just 10 days away. You should have your tickets already, but they're useless. Tusi channel was saying if you select personal and not all under notifications, you won't get notifications for it live. That's true. I've said that millions of times. Thank you for telling me that the Tusi channel tells you that. Exactly. Let me find something to subscribe to. Nana's channel. I don't think I'm subscribed to that. Let's go there. Okay, so here's Nana's channel. This is Fragezeichen, a German song. So here you go. So you have to come down here. You click subscribe. Okay, but that's not good enough. Then you got to click on this. See, personalized notifications? No, you need all notifications. You click on that top bell. See that? So now we look. All notifications, okay? That's what you have to do. If you don't do that, you won't get notified. You also, if you're using a mobile phone, your phone has to be allowed to accept notifications from YouTube app, and you have to have it turned on. So there's a lot of steps to do. Anyway, but yeah, so that's true. Okay. Claiming our approval and tickets soon, says Rian. Okay. Donnie, hope you're doing good. Flying soon. Okay, Donnie. Okay. Just for interest, I learned about the Dunning-Kruger effect today. It applies to some of the people who comment in your videos. It definitely does. It does, Beulah. Eugene said, I had an idiot send me such crap over you, Colonel, farming the crew of all people, and I told him he better find better things to do this time because he's bored and uninformed. Why would a farmer in the crew attack me? What the hell is that, Eugene? What is wrong with a farmer in the crew? I mean, I promote farmers all the time. No, there's just stupid people, and they believe whatever they want to believe. They don't believe the truth. It's, what are you going to do? Look how people vote. It just says a lot about people. Will you get your plane tickets via email? Well, there are no tickets. It's all digital. You'll get an email. You get your boarding pass to the airport. So I don't know what you mean when you get your tickets. This isn't 1985. They don't send email. They don't send physical tickets anymore. That used to be like cash. So Glenn Quagmire is talking about $300 billion and doesn't explain why. What are you talking about? Thank you. Don't have family there, so I just want to know so I can tell them what to do if something. Well, what you do is you write a will, Bambi. You write a will. You should have a will now. Everyone should have a will. Come to America. When you get here, ask your refugee agency if they have an attorney who can help you with a will. They should be able to direct you to a place. You can find places to do that for free rather than pay for it. Write a will and expressly state your desire for your minor children when you pass. If they're well behaved, then they can have a FEMA tent in my lawn. Okay. I haven't seen the hot full biker in about a week, I think. Just asking, want to get facts correct. It's cheaper to heat your home as it's more costly to cool your home. What does that mean? I don't understand that. Cheaper to heat your home, more costly. No, it's energy consumption. It depends on the insulation of your home, the age of your home, the system you're using for heating. Now that's Shane Erasmus on Facebook. And why is that coming up? That's weird. It's turned off, but Facebook shows up on there. Thank you, Shane, over on Facebook. I don't know how to answer that question, Martin. Is it cheaper to heat? No, I mean, look. You know, most people for air conditioning are using electricity for their air conditioning. In fact, all people are. So your electricity bill is going to be higher. People use other sources for heat. They've got a furnace that burns natural gas or burns coal or burns oil. I don't know how to answer that question. It isn't cheaper. It's how much energy you use. You know, if you don't mind being hot, you turn off the air conditioning, then your bills are cheap. If you don't mind being a little bit colder, I don't mind being colder in my house in wintertime. The heat stays low, so I don't use it much. Does one get an official approval letter after your caseworker in the U.S. was appointed? Or do you get the approval letter before the step in the process? Actually, your caseworker, Pearl, normally knows before you do. They normally know that you're coming there before you do. That's been my experience. That's not a hard and fast rule. Frederick Mostart, what's up? Trucker says you collect tickets in Pretoria after your cultural orientation interview. You're not collecting tickets. You're just getting printout. Or am I wrong? They actually give you physical tickets you can lose? Nobody does anymore. Could you also be a mind link? No, Matthew. When they contacted me, I said, I have no idea who you are. Oh, Carla asked a very good question. Must go to USCIS for re-interview next week. I'm the principal applicant. My husband doesn't want to go anymore. Will I be accepted? Yes, of course you'll be accepted. If you're the principal applicant, that's the bottom line. Yep, your husband can stay there. That's his problem, not yours. Just let them know. And they'll have to contact him to confirm it's true. Yep. You can come without him. Carla, are you in your 20s or 30s and aboard my seat? I'm just asking. Anyway, agreed. US Link means nothing. We have one. They reached out, and that was over a month ago. Cricket says they told our link we may be in the US for up to 6 months. Okay, says no. Benjamin says arrived Jersey City 2 weeks ago. Amazing city, wonderful agency. Traveled around a bit. Everything works. It's crazy. You think Jersey City, New Jersey, is wonderful? Wow, you have very low standards, Benjamin. But I'm glad it's going well for you. That is not a place I want to live. Right, you can potentially leave in 2 to 4 weeks, not guaranteed. Eugene says, thanks for everything you do for us, Colonel. Thank you for the 14 rand. You're welcome, Eugene. Agent told my US Link that we are in the queue and we'll leave very soon. That was early February. Yep, James, exactly. Mohag says, we received approval to 720, but our adult son is still in U.S. history and our medical's expired. What should we do? Contact him. He's not going to do anything. You're going to have to wait till they get a hold of you. Your adult son is part of your case? Or he's his own case? I don't understand how that affects your case. Received approval. Okay, I got that. Colonel, what if you are in the U.S. already and then you sell property and say, no, you pay tax in South Africa. Yep, you pay tax in South Africa. The link in New York, and they've suggested I try and land within 2 hours drive from them. Huh? You don't get to try. They send you where they send you. I don't understand that comment. Boy, what else? Wow, might really jump the chat. Oh my goodness, it jumped a lot here. Sorry. Okay, that was where I was at. Okay. How do I get in touch with Refugee in Denver, Colorado? Is there a group WhatsApp? Well, Reno, once you arrive, I think they'll put you in there. They don't really like putting people in groups till they arrive because people wind up in different places. They should say ethnic groups. Race is a social construct and has no basis in reality. Well, I agree, Circling Quagmire, but the racists love to use that in the ANC and the EFF and MK. And it doesn't say race. It doesn't say race. So what are you saying they say? What are you saying in race? They don't say race. Where are you getting that from? I read it directly from the site. Must be of Afrikaner ethnicity to be a member of a racial minority. Racial minority. That's not race. It's a racial minority, ethnic minority. I said the term I used on February 7th was ethnic minority, and on the 10th it said racial minority. Okay. Phoenix was in the September group. There now. They are no. Okay. Mainstream media keeps calling it the Afrikaner refugee program because it's more sensational. Exactly. And they keep saying white because it's more sensational, as if white people don't deserve to be refugees. But they didn't say white. Notice, very clear distinction. 300,000 Ukrainians came here. They didn't go, oh, look at all these white Christian, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Ukrainians coming to America. How can we let these whites in? That's not right. What about the brown people? No one complained about that. No one complained about that. Jasper says, I laugh at these 24 because my wife is Indian and I'm white. Yeah, exactly. Vodka says, the amount of editing that troll does in his videos is unbelievable. Yet, and people fall for it. Angelique says, my case will make you nuts. Yassine says, I've been with the program from the very beginning and my medical interview are finally coming up this week. That took a long time, Yassine. Any updates on pet lift? No, I already covered pet lift. Nothing new. Pro Vipboy says, depends where you consider tax resident. That's true, but having just arrived in America and selling your place, you're still going to be a tax resident in South Africa. So that's accurate. If you look at behind the scenes videos of so-called journalists, you'll see it's all about theater. Yep. Some people pour to works, others just a stressor. Exactly, Vanner. Mostly it comes when you least expect it, says Stephen Swanepoel. Can't USA just take all those applied and keep them at a temporary facility? No, we can't. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, Phoenix got their tickets 4 or 8 days before departure. Exactly. My advice, people, is your process starts after completion of the online application, your first contact. Until your first contact, you're not in the process. I agree, Big Fish. It's possible that the intake questionnaire process has had a delay effect on the cases that only did SOI. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yassine's case is moving forward now. He did it long before the intake questionnaire. My friend went from in February last year. I don't know why people don't listen to me. I keep saying this. Why do I have to keep saying this? My friend is in Milwaukee now. Last year, he was invited to come up. He paid to go up to Pretoria in the first 100. And then they never contacted him. February of last year, the first time his contact was 19 February this year. Over a year later, or about a year later. And then from that date, 19 February, he had to get his physicals and his other stuff and all that, and then his fingerprints. He didn't come over until 9 weeks later. It was 9 weeks before he got here. But within the first 2 weeks, he had a social security number, an EAD, a house, and then job offer for his wife, bank accounts, all that within 2 weeks. Alan says, first interview, 23 March 2025, only arrived at 31st of March, a year later. Exactly, Alan. What do I tell people? This is 18 to 24 months normally, best case. People don't want to hear that. They just want to do what they want. Louis left all WhatsApp groups except yours. Anything worth knowing will be shared there. Exactly. Safari Lady 35 Red says, yes, it's concerning. I have sent 2 follow-up emails already, worried that it'll become a statistic. Yep. The amount of ads is crazy now. YouTube is getting greedy. Well, yeah, I don't know how greedy they're getting. I'm not getting much money from that. Let me take a look in what percentage earnings come from ads. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. I need to go back here. Ads. Revenue. Okay. Actually, the watch page ads are about 1/3 of my revenue right now because super chats are thin. In the last 28 days, it's pretty evenly balanced. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Memberships, super chats, and watch paid ads. When I have lots of views, the watch page ads add up. But right, and then that should be 3/4 of my income, to be honest. It's only 1/3. That means there's not a lot of viewing of the ads. No cash juggler. No one knows how many people, and no one's going to find it. The U.S. government is not going to release that information. Is there any way you could team up with Nick Shirley to expose? No, I have no idea who. I have no contact with Nick Shirley. Have you had refugee guests who are living in the USA who started with nearly no money or similar? Most of the people I've interviewed had no money. Most of them had not a penny to their name. There are exceptions, but most had no money. Good experience with CWS. Okay, everyone I know has gone over personally in different states. About 10 are generally good experiences, longer than 4 months. Okay, thank you, Sangria, for sharing. Good evening, Nicole. Next, hey man, I think what you intend to call is Kaffee Klatsch. Klatsch means talk or chat in Afrikaans. No, I'm not speaking Afrikaans. Okay, so next, thank you for your input, but obviously you don't know anything about me. Der Grund, warum ich Kaffee Klatsch entschieden habe, ist, weil ich schon Deutsch als mehr als 45 Jahre Deutsch gesprochen habe. Ich habe mich selbst gelehrt als Gefreiter in der US-Armee in der Bundesrepublik Deutschland 1980 Jahren. Und ich habe so diese Sendung Kaffee Klatsch genannt, weil das ist ja auf Deutsch und ich spreche Deutsch. So, no, I don't want Kaffee Klatsch. That's not what I was looking for. It's not for Afrikaners. This is my session, and it's for South Africans. And I named it Kaffee Klatsch because that is now a euphemism in America. People know the term Kaffee Klatsch, and it comes from German. So, yeah. Yeah, but thank you for that next. I wasn't trying to do Afrikaans. Didn't make a mistake there. It's like the guy accused me, not you, but the guy accused me a few years ago. This guy claims he speaks African languages, and all he knows is Sawubona. I never claimed to speak Zulu. I just used to say Sawubona because I know what that means. I see you. You know why I know that? Because it used to be the name of the magazine, the in-flight magazine for South African Airways. Yeah, I'd help people like Colonel Wyatt make money, so I think it's good. Yes, Carla, thank you for that. They disparage you, Colonel, because you're clearly the most reliable source of information for candidate refugees and who offers practical assistance. No, they also disparage me because of my reporting on South Africa. They call me a MAGA guy, but they don't bother to look at the things I say that criticize the Trump administration. They call me a Klan member when they don't even look at my deeds. So they do ad hominem attacks because they're pathetic losers, and that's all they have. They also steal my content endlessly. 4 days before departure, yep. Where there's money, there will be fraudsters rubbing their hands. Exactly right, Sir Glenn Quagmire. You have a will. We will come to America. That's good, Jasper. Jesse Owls says, do you think 2,500 will leave in June? There are the funds available. Yes. Yes, I don't know if the 2,500 leave, but I know that it's authorized, so we'll see. They can actually bring more than 2,500. It's just they have 10,000 for the rest of the year. I think that maybe what will happen is we might jump up to 2,000, maybe 2,100. And, got 2 super chats. Thank you, Andreas. Do you think South African government will make it harder for us to leave? Yeah, I'll get back to that. I'll get to this in a few minutes. Yeah, they can do it. But, I mean, I don't know their capacity. They're not sharing that publicly. But remember, they took in 120,000 refugees the previous year. They have the capacity. But a lot of these agencies fired their people, so who knows? Pat says, South Africans too complacent, oblivious to what is actually going on. I've actually convinced some people and sent them to your channel. Well, thank you for that, Pat Meister. Chanel Naidu, then something is definitely not right. Make sure you check and read your online questionnaire. Okay, I didn't see what Chanel said. My nephew having a baby in August. Do you think I can fly there and then come back and we will be approved? Huh? Your nephew's having a baby in August. Do you think you can fly there? Oh, you want to come to the U.S. for the birth of your nephew, presumably his partner or wife's child. He's not giving birth. If your nephew's giving birth, we got some serious biological issues here. And then come back. No, people travel in and out of the country. We have people outside the country. Professor G was talking about this last year and said, you can't come here because then it undermines your case. But we've proven that it's not the case. That's the decision you take. I mean, why do you have to be there for the birth of the baby? I mean, I understand that. You don't have to answer that question. I would just stay where I'm at and get out when I can. Thank you for subscribing, Pam. Martin says he can be at the airport in 90 minutes. Well, that's more impressive than me. I'd have a hard time getting my airport in 90 minutes. It's only 20 minutes from here. Got great news. The week my son, who is in his own casino, will be flying out with us. I don't know what casino. What do you mean by casino? James says, I've had many people tell me that you don't know what you're talking about. When asked where they got their info, they said Cockpot 24. Yeah, that's when you laugh and walk away. They don't know what I don't know what I'm talking about. But the problem is I'm proven right again and 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 again. I mean, how can I not know what I'm talking about? These are dim-witted people that don't bother to look. Come on my channel and show me where I've been wrong. Who told you in September last year and August last year not to worry about the cap? And when the cap came in at 7,500, 7,000 for South Africa, 500 for the rest of the world, who told you not to worry about that cap? Who? Was it Cockprot24? No. Was it Times Live? Was it IOL? Was it Facebook? Was it any? No. Was it any other content creator? No, it was me. Who told you? I told you. And who was correct? All along, I was. When I told you on the 7th of August, just 2 hours after Trump, or thereabouts after Trump announced this program, when I told you that I hope and I expect the program would be for ethnic minorities, what did they do on the 10th of February? Afrikaners and racial minorities. Who was correct? I was. When I told you that colored people are coming over, Indians are coming over, and black people are coming over, who was correct? I was correct. When I told you what the resources were last year before they changed, who was correct? When I told you the difference between an asylum seeker and a refugee, who was correct? I was. When I explained the process, how refugee agencies are the ones that resettle you here, who was correct? I was. When I predicted in November of 2021 that the ANC would get 38 to 42% of the popular vote in the 2024 national elections, 3 years before the election, who was correct? They came in at 40%. I was. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So anybody that says I don't know what I'm talking about is a liar or a shameful, useless person. Now, that doesn't mean I make mistakes. It also doesn't mean that things don't change. When the information changes, my assessment will change. If it's necessary. It's just ridiculous. You're right. You should laugh and walk away. They're not people worth talking to because they're not rational people. Exactly. No physical ticket issued, only boarding tickets at the airport. Exactly. Boarding passes are not tickets. Thank you for that, Stephen Swanepoel. AC on 24/7 utility is only $74. Well, lucky for you, Ocular Smile. My electricity bill was nothing last month, but I used up all my credit. Hopefully it's burning. Let's see what I'm doing today. Sun has been out for a while, and it's afternoon. This is the peak time, 2 to 4 p.m. Let's see what I've got for a solar panel right now. Sun is really shining out there. So come on, a little quicker, app. A little quicker, a little quicker. Log in again? What the hell is this log? Oh, give me a freaking... How can my session expire? I hate this app. I hate this app. This is the most useless app. Oh, now I got to look up a damn password. I don't even know if I even have it. Unbelievable. Well, I know what my email address is. Let me guess that this is the password. I think that's it. Let's see. Biometric. I don't want biometric. I just want to sign in with a password. Okay, so 26 kilowatts today. I burn about 17 kilowatts per day on average, so that means I banked a little bit about. It's currently giving me 5.99. It only gives me 6, even though it's rated for 8. I don't know why they lied to me. They only put 6 kilowatts up there. So I'm at 5.9. So I'm getting max power right now. It's peaking right now. It has been peaked for about, well, since about noon. Yeah, so it's been peaked for about 3 hours. That's good. Yep. So I got 22.9 megawatts lifetime generated by that. So, yeah, so. Go back to the country where you fear persecution. Yeah, I've advised against it, but yeah, anyway. No, Chaos Jugger, are you not listening? I already answered this question. You don't get approved faster by having a U.S. link. My friend from February last year listed me as a link. Listed me as a link. Has never waited over a year to get here. 380 people are watching. Tells me that either you are shadow banned or there are not many people going, and we all know that there are thousands applied. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people have grown tired of coming to the refugee session too. So the password is not password. Rihanna says, if it wasn't for you, I would not have known how to apply. I've now been approved. I'm so grateful to you. All right, cool, Rihanna. Yeah, most people wouldn't even know about the program because it's being lied about in South Africa. In case of these people conspiring about you, be incorrect or not helpful. Your wife is always right, Martin. The program has been going on for a year and people still don't listen and believe the BS. Exactly, Coco. You can't help people like that. Cruiser Phoenix, I don't know if I got your super chat. I'll have to look when I get there. Panels generate 38 kilowatts in summer and 20 kilowatts right now in colder months. Wow, Sir Glenn Quagmire, you must have a massive. I only have 20 panels. I only have 20 panels. Yep. 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 And it's only on one side of my house. I don't have the whole house. So my roof is pitched pretty steep on the back side and the front, and they're only on the back side of the house. So they generate mostly from midday onwards. You're talking, in case these people are talking, you're incorrect and they're talking BS about you. Okay. Show me your shareholders and I will show you the narrative. News 24, Naspers. Yep. BlackRock, Public Investment Corporation, Vanguard. Yep. This week is a write-off with all the public holidays. Tomorrow, another one, Kenya. Jason Barnard, I saw you mention assistance with the agency on your interview earlier for Green Card. Prestige said we can do it ourselves, and they haven't applied yet. No, they have to, Jason. At the 12-month point, all the 59ers are in the process. They had to apply in May of this year. They had to wait till May 11th, May 12th. After 1 year, you have to apply for it. So they're in the process. But I haven't talked to any of them about the process. Yeah, well, your agencies are supposed to help with that. If you don't believe me, go watch the interview with Milan Debetek, the director of the African Community Center out there in Las Vegas, Nevada. I interviewed him. He said very clearly that's one of the things that refugee agencies are tasked with helping. You can do it yourself, fill out the form, but you need either an authorized representative or an attorney to sign it to verify it. So, go to your agency. Okay? Don't forget the like button. Yeah, hit the like button. The chat, by the way, drives viewership, as does the like button. It really does work that way. There's a glitch your internet, says God's girl. I'll go back and make sure I didn't miss anything when I'm done here. As a single male, female, are you placed in your own apartment or a shared apartment? Well, you're supposed to be placed in your own apartment, but we've seen refugee agencies try to place people in the same apartment to save them money, but oftentimes they try to force them because they're too lazy to find an apartment for them. So that's a problem. In fact, in the case of Jared, in Erie, Pennsylvania, they tried to stick a woman in his shitty place that was terrible. Sorry for the language, but that's what it was. Yeah, no, the ESCOM wanting to take money from people for solar panels is old news. That's not new. They've been trying to do it for a year. You can tilt your panels. Well, that's cool. That's awesome, Sir Glenn Quagmire. Where are you living, Sir Glenn? Will the 10,000 initial applicants be flown out by 30 September or the applications be stopped? No, gosh, Pearl. No, come on. The 10,000 is a cap. It's not applicants. It's the number of people who are approved to come over here. And that number is independent of the cap who's approved. People get approved, and if the cap is full, then they wait till the next fiscal year. They won't stop applications until the program stops. Alan says, yep, when I told the colonel they're telling me to fill in my N600, he said, argue your case for your sons. I now have submitted N600 to USCIS after receiving my Social Security number. That is the green card application, the N600. Alan, thank you for the $10. Are you telling me that the refugee agency had to help you because you argued your case? Yep. Session is later than usual, isn't it? Nope. It's usually by 2 p.m., 8 o'clock every Sunday when I do it. Oh, well, Sir Glenn Quagmire, you're in South Africa. It doesn't count. I'm not in the Sun Belt. I mean, 45 kilowatts a day is what I get on a good summer day. I've had 50 before in Pennsylvania. Not exactly the Sun Belt. That's pretty good. And these panels are amazing. Green card. What do you want to know about the green card application, Jason? No, you don't get the vaccines again, Leonie. People lied and said that you do. You don't get vaccines again. Just make sure you get a copy of the immunization when the kid gets it. So if they send you to another medical practitioner for another screening, you go to a different facility, and they say, well, you need the shots. Well, here's the shot record, okay? You don't get the shots again. The sandstone wall using your shorts, is that your house? Yes, it is. That is my house. It is my house. That is my house, yes. Well, the cap count, that's right, Matthew, for once you're not trolling. The cap count restarts on 1 October, but the applications, the number approved, doesn't change. Nope. I'm staying on a plot, and Friday night they stole 2 solar panels. Jamie and Christy. Hey, Christy, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Ron Post was scheduled to attend the cemetery of Kruger Park yesterday. He was involved in escorting his convoy. He didn't arrive. His plane gave problems halfway there. Not a surprise. Hey, Jasper. Please like the stream. Yep. Francois Ferreira checking in. Belated good evening. Welcome to you, Francois. Sir Glenn Quag, you're in Bloemfontein. You're in the Free State, man. There's nothing to block unless you're, on the eastern side and you get the sun blocked by the Drakensberg in the evening. Wait, yeah, in the evening. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The Free State's like a flat top piano. Sharon says, if you go, you go. If you don't, it's okay. Just have to be patient. Our adult son had his own case, but he's linked to our case. We have a case work in USA. She's contacted us, but Church World Service refers to USCS. And yeah, Stormers versus Bulls final. Well, that would be nice, Arnie, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Does it make a difference to use hearts on the side? Oh, yeah, that's interaction. You mean pushing the clicking little thing over there? That helps if you hear something you like. Nope, you forgot my birth was notified on the 19th to the embassy. Thank you for the $5, Alan. I've already forgot what we were talking about there. Sorry. Do you think I am right to assume that there are not any increased extra flights for refugee program? They only utilize empty seats in existing flights? When we say utilize empty seats, no, they book seats on commercial flights. That's what they book. I wouldn't use that term as empty seats, available seats. Empty seats implies that they can only get tickets that no one would buy. The government has priority on U.S. carriers. Hence, Delta and United are the primary ways to get people to America. Flying to Newark and or Atlanta. Delta to Atlanta, Newark is United. But they have also used KLM, British Airways, not so often, Air France, and Lufthansa to get people here. You're good, just very busy with work on classes. Oh, until 10 o'clock. That's crazy. Okay. All to his glory. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome to you. I think I'm caught up in the chat. Now let me just go make sure I didn't miss any super chats, and I'll apologize if I did. So let me go to earnings. Here we go. Supers. Okay. Let's see super chats. Let's see all. Okay. So Alan gave that about the birthday $5. Franklin Foundation says check in. That was 40 Rand. Alan gave the $10. Recognized Jaretha. I missed that. Sent you an earlier email. Probably stupid. So this is just something to say sorry for adding to your load. Well, thank you for the 199 Rand there, Jaretha. I'll have to check the email. I didn't see it. Andreas gave 35 Rand. Do you think South African government will make it harder for us to leave once they figure out our tax money? They've already made it harder. I already have evidence of a handful of South Africans who can't move their money from their banks. What I don't know is if the government has intervened to do that or the banks are doing that. But I already know that that's happened to several people who've come over here who couldn't access their bank accounts or couldn't move money or have their bank accounts frozen because they were transferring money to the U.S. That's not even legal to my knowledge. But anyway, and I'll stand a correction if that is legal to just block people because you want to. I mean, they'll try to cite money laundering or something like that, but that's bullshit. So yes, will they make it harder? Of course they made it harder. They raided the Woodmead facility to intimidate potential refugees. They used the media, their collusion with the media to lie about the program, call it for white farmers. They used the radio stations, even go on Jacaranda and Radio 702 and East Coast Radio to lie to South Africans about this. Yeah, no, of course. They will do things. They've intentionally undermined the program from the outset. That is what they've done. And they continue to do it. And that's one of the reasons that the Trump administration cited increasing the number for the cap during a year, which is not unprecedented, but it's pretty rare. Well, thank you, Vibes. Who is that? I can't read that. I'll get to it in a second. So, yeah. The Smiths say, $20, thank you for everything. Would appreciate your information on the WhatsApp I sent you once you have time. Is it listed under the Smiths? I mean, I went through stuff earlier. And oh, come on. Oh, can I talk about it? Is it the Smiths in California? Yeah, it is, because I can see your kids. Can I share your WhatsApp to me? Mercy, can I do that? 13-year-old girl on my flight and had nobody next to her. She lifted the middle armrest and slept across her chair in the empty one for 8 hours straight. Okay. Okay. Etur Magal gave 14 Rand. Thank you for that. Okay. Hermanus Johannes Erlang gave a super sticker. Cruiser Phoenix, just letting you know, no call yet, 14 Rand. Hope Across Oceans. Sent you 2 songs yesterday. Second one, a little humorous. My case portal mention you. My case portal mention you if it's okay. Huh? Francesca Siska von der Linde. Colonel, thank you for everything you do for us. We had our interview in person last week. The interviewer asked my husband why we don't go to Iran yet. Ask the interviewer, why doesn't he go to Irania? Ask him, why don't you move to Irania in the middle of nowhere? Do you think it's safe in Irania? Good Lord. Yes, it's concerning. I've sent Safari Lady. I read that email. Jasper Milan. Yeah, I read that one. Eugene says, thanks for everything. I read that one. Chaos Juggler. To everyone still waiting for approval to travel, stay strong, keep the faith. Delays don't mean denial. I read that one as well. Anonymous gave 40 Rand. Don't forget Safa's Dreams poll at the beginning. And, yep, so that's all of them that have come in this stream except for the ones that just came. So let me just, okay, hang on. Now, see, I got to refresh the page because it's not there. The ones that just came up. So thank you for that. See y'all. Here we go. Okay, Jasper Milan just gave another super sticker. Letamagog gave a 14 Rand super sticker in the Smiths. I got that one. Okay. So can I read that, the Smiths? Okay. Off the bed, says Arno. Stormers versus Bulls be cool, but I agree it's unlikely. Both Glasgow and Leinster are beatable, though. Well, we'll see. We don't have Sasha Feinberg. Mazzulli has a high ankle sprain. He's out for 3 months. He's going to miss test matches for the Springboks. Bank issues because it's big amounts and the time zones cause the AI to block the account. Happened to us. Well, that's one example, Michelle, but that's not the only reason. Banks have also given reasons to people, and it isn't that. Okay, the Smith says yes. Okay. Now I'm curious about the WhatsApp. Jasper gave 14 Rand super sticker. Okay, so here you go. Here's what she wrote to me. Good morning, sir. Trust you. She says good morning. It's sent at 2:30 in the afternoon. But it's morning for her. It's 11:30. I'm so sorry to bother you with this, but I just need clarifications. My heart can't bear the thought of this happening. So according to that other person, refugees' children has been taken away by CPS. I share your video about her post, and that people still mention she's helping the people whose children were taken away. I did reach out to her, but she's not responding, so I just want to know if you're aware of how we can help these refugees. Okay, again, so I don't know who the refugees are, but I do know anecdotally that there was a case located on the west coast of the United States, and that it was a situation where a parent, children were crying or spanked them or something like that, and then someone called Child Protective Services and they got involved. I don't know if they took their children away, but it has nothing to do, that story had nothing to do with refugees. That comment that you're talking about implies, do I have that still? I don't know if I still have that, all that text. I can't find the printout that I did of it. Hang on, let's see if I have it here. No, it's not here. I must have gotten rid of it. Let me see if I've got a Word document. Maybe I put it in a Word document. I don't think I did, though. If I put it in a Word document, it'll still be here, saved. Let me see. Recent documents. Come on. No, there it is. I did save it. Okay. So this person says, I believe that before 2026 is over, a devastating number of African refugees who brought to the United States under these resettlement priorities will be facing homelessness, hunger, untreated illness, and a total financial collapse. Elderly people will suffer immensely. Families will fracture under impossible economic pressure. Children may end up drawn into state systems simply because their parents were brought into circumstances they were never realistically equipped to survive. Okay, that's where the Child Protective Services comes in. No evidence, no name. And also, it's oh, here it says here. It says families are facing evictions, children being removed by CPS. What children where? What children where? And again, back to that story. You came in late, Smiths. Thank you for the super chat. But you came in late. When you are evicted from a property, unless you have been removed as a result of a court order because you refuse to vacate someone else's property that you're not paying for, law enforcement is not involved. Law enforcement is not involved unless you refuse to leave when you're evicted. Then they call. But Child Protective Services have nothing to do with that. Child Protective Services won't be called. If I didn't pay my mortgage, the bank would foreclose my house. There would be no Child Protective Services, even if I have kids in the house. That doesn't make any sense. You see, you have to use rational. I don't know who the person is. I'm not talking. What the person said is that's their opinion, and that's an opinion. Opinions are as valuable as an opinion is valuable. Okay, but I need to deal in facts. That's not even analysis. That's just an opinion. Analysis is informed analysis of information. You take the information gaps, you take the available information, and if you know what you're talking about, you can make an informed analysis and you can make accurate predictions. That's what intelligence analysis is, what I've did for decades. But this is just hysteria. Now, again, I'm not mentioning who the person was that did it. I'm simply stating that there's no information there. None. Not a case, not a location. But I can tell you that as a consequence of this, I've received information about a case in the Western United States where someone spanked their child, purported, I don't know, I didn't talk to the person. I haven't been there. I'm just relaying things to third hand. But at least I have something I can grab a hold of here where Child Protective Services were called. It didn't say children removed. I know the town where it occurred. I don't know the refugee, though, where it supposedly occurred. So no, see, this is meant to undermine the program. And if it wasn't meant to undermine the program, why would you write something like this? Why would somebody write this? This is the reason why when people started having trouble with refugee officers last year, I didn't make videos on it. I never made a video about the situation in Austin, Texas. I did talk about it in Night Owls after I resolved the problem. Austin, Texas, Modesto, California, and I talked about how the IRC engaged and fixed the problem. The only time I started revealing these cases was when they began to stack up. And I couldn't solve all of them because Church World Service wouldn't return my response. They wouldn't answer my email. So because Church World Service doesn't answer the email, I had to expose them. And the same thing with Jewish Family Services down there, Community Services in Florida. And the HIAS, Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. They've refused to do their job. So this is hysteria. This is propaganda. Why would you put something like that out there? Now, I don't expect the person to say, listen, Johanna Smith in Denver, Colorado, they took her children away when she was evicted from her house in March of this year. I don't expect someone to say that. You don't out somebody. But you do say, let me make one up. I'm making this up, okay? Hey, folks, I'm in touch with a refugee. This isn't real because people are going to steal this content. This isn't real. Do I need to put a little banner up saying this is supposition? Hey, folks, I'm in touch with a refugee family with 3 children, minor children, who live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They didn't pay the rent for 3 months and they were evicted, but they refused to leave. So they called the sheriff. The sheriff removed them. And when they came, one of the parents was spanking their child in public. The sheriff called Child Protective Services and took the children into custody on March 18th. The parents have had not access to their children since March 18th. Now that's helpful. That's helpful. That's information. But this is not helpful. I believe that before 2026 is over, a devastating number of South African refugees brought to the U.S. What is a devastating number? To me, 1 is devastating. Under these resettlement priorities, we'll be facing homelessness. Why will they be facing homelessness and a devastating number? Why will they be facing hunger? Do they not go to food banks? Do they not get jobs? Untreated illness. That just shows you complete ignorance of the American system. Untreated illness. No. No such thing. No such thing. Every hospital and clinic in the country, in every state and jurisdiction and territory is required to take emergency room visits. You may have to wait a long time, but trust me, the wait's a lot shorter than the state hospital in South Africa. How many times do we have to bring people on the program who've gotten great medical care? People are taking gripes and complaints and creating nonsense out of it. Look, again, I'm not even, see, you notice I haven't mentioned who this person is. This is intentional, or it's very poorly informed. One of the two. One of the two. Okay. You were also asked why you don't move to Irania. Why, this is my question to you. Why don't you move to Irania? Why would I move to Irania? I'm English. I can't move there. I'm an Anglophone. I'm not allowed to live in Irania. I don't speak Afrikaans. I'm not a Dutch Calvinist. And I don't adhere to Afrikaans culture. Why would I go there? Ask them that question. You ask me why I don't move to Irania? First off, I can't live there. I'm not Afrikaans. They have corporate rules. It's a corporation. I don't want to be part of it. And I'm not eligible. Right, Cruiser Phoenix. They're already being targeted because MK is trying to remove Section 235 and eliminate Irania. Yeah, exactly, Heinrich. When I was asked the Iranian question, I told them I don't fully meet the requirements and that the city of Pretoria wants to demolish Kleinfontein. Exactly. When are Cape Town interviews being done? Every day of the work week there, USA on one. What are you talking about? Interviews being done in Cape Town since August of last year. Where's that question? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, maybe it's just Phoenix is saying they ask Phoenix too. It's just a standard question. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Western Cape. The Western Cape isn't safe. They were murdering people just a few blocks from where I was when they were in the taxi strike. They were targeting white people. They murdered the British physician who's Asian. Shot him dead in his car because he made the wrong turn. Missed the airport junction. Went to the next street, turned into a crappy area and got shot. Then they attacked the Coca-Cola delivery trucks 2 blocks from where I was at in Mitchell's Plain. Obvious reasons is Irania want to preserve Afrikaans culture when mixed couple. Exactly. You'd be disqualified on the spot. Yep. Many people in interviews were asked, did you enjoy apartheid? What? Who asked a question like that? I've never heard that before. Who asked you that question? I find that hard to believe. Questions gave us answers, choose. Okay, well, that's interesting, Stephen. The Smiths, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You're welcome, the Smiths. Look, I'm not saying it's not true, but okay, let me make something very clear to refugees. If you come here, and I've told people this before, if you think you can bribe a cop for a speeding ticket, you're going to jail. If you think you can go pay a bureaucrat money to process your social security number or to process your tax form or to process your approval for something, you're in trouble. This isn't South Africa. If you think you can smoke weed, unless it's in a state where it's legal, you're in trouble. If you think you can speed at will and not get pulled over by the cops, you're in trouble. If you think you can abuse your children and not pay consequences for it, you're in trouble. You must adhere to and follow the laws of this nation. You are a guest here. A guest. And anybody who thinks they can come here and break our laws is clueless. Clueless. From the upgrades to the mobile homes, I think they have been planning to up the number a while now. Yes, that's correct. No, you don't spank your child in public. People, you sign an NDA. It's an NDA. You're not supposed to talk about the questions you ask. Yes and no. No, Chris Van Niekerk, the email they send you has all the information that you need. And if it's not in there, then there isn't one. Untreated illness, my ass. We arrived in April. We're still in and out of doctors and hospitals. They're taking care of us. Every little thing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, you get better medical care than I do. Varoshka says exceptional medical care. Exactly. Your headphones exploded. Person who posted on Facebook has a passport, Cyrillic alphabet letters in her profile where she sits on the steps. Exactly. I don't recall child services taking away Ukrainian or Afghan refugee children away en masse. Exactly. It's meant to frighten people. And if you fall for it, then you're not very bright. Program is working and is intended to help us. This should not be the status. You live in the States. We are the people in fear. Okay. Condition that Southern doctors could not sort for 4 years. My new doctor sorted for me at first visit. Exactly. I spent. Yeah, well, we already talked to other people who told that they had all kinds of serious problems and it was something minor. Yep. Asked if I can, and others who were diagnosed as a minor problem and it turned out they had cancer, but they weren't diagnosed properly. Asked if I can't move to an Afrikaans community. I told them that I'm not Afrikaans, so I don't form part of them. There you go, Jason Barnard. Joyce is after Rania like a piece of biltong. They tried to do a home invasion last night at our house. Jeez, Jasper. And you can't go to Rania if you're gay, says Corey. You mind sharing what banks froze accounts? It's individual cases, Jesse, and other people has still got their accounts through. So I think it's an individual thing. I don't think we don't have any proof that's from the government. That's why I haven't made a video claiming the government's doing it. Wonder how many prescription meds I drink will be found to be unnecessary when getting checked in the U.S. Yeah, Western Cape is definitely not safe. There's a guy from Irania at the interview who was saying it's not at all roses. Exactly. No, I don't think that they want gay people there. I could be wrong. No, 200 Rand card doesn't work in the U.S. Colonel, you had answered that question before. Regardless where you go in South Africa, the issue of persecution will not go away. Exactly, Pat. Hey, Werner, what's up? You were here earlier. It's in the shiny CBD of Cape Town in January, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end because I could feel the seedy underbelly festering just like you did 20 years ago, says Heinrich. Guy got shot at News Cafe and Table. Exactly, Mark. There you go. Exactly right. There you go. Show them that video. Why don't you go to Rania? Well, I can't live in Cape Town. We should all realize that we do not hear about interviews, medicals, or flights because it doesn't mean that it's not happening. Yep. I have the exact question. I was told to take 3 months prescription meds. I don't know if I agree with that because it's a waste of money. Pearl, no, that's a good question. I didn't understand where that was going. Yeah, if you have prescription medication, you should take 3 months supply. What if you can't get enrolled in medical? First off, if you wind up being qualified for Medicaid, it takes up to 48 days before your enrollment is there and active. And some people aren't eligible for Medicaid. They get refugee medical assistance. So getting prescription meds is a normal thing. That's a normal course of seeing your doctor. You may not be able to see a doctor on a normal basis when you first arrive. So it's not a waste of money. Get your prescription meds for 3 months. Should always, whenever I moved, I don't have prescription meds, but when I had malaria drugs, I always got 3 months supply before I went anywhere. Yep. Very impressed with how so far with everything in the USA. It's a golden opportunity to start a new life. Yep, says the Fox. Capitec won't let you make ETF payments? That's not what I heard, Varushka, but you're one of the people I know that had trouble with your account. Okay, so I had the poll up. Let's see what we got here. You got 400 votes. That's a pretty comprehensive poll result. So let's see what it says. Half of you are from February through September. Yep. Wow. So 200 people. That's crazy who answered the poll. So if you're lucky and you have people who concerned about you and your welfare when you're a refugee, even if they're not your sponsor, you'll find people help you. Americans are very generous. So, for instance, Varushka, do you mind if I tell people? Do you mind if I share? Do you mind if I share, Varushka? Can I tell people? U.S. is top healthcare in Germany. Some places it's hard to get a primary care physician. Never heard of. They didn't work on Wednesday. Yeah, no, Carlo, I know. I had a hard time getting care in Germany as a military person. It was hard from the Germans because they had a specialist. They didn't have one. And then also the next time was easy. Yep. All South African banks have foreign currency account option where you can stash your cash. U.S. banks don't do that generally. Colonel, the person on the Facebook post is also concerned for refugees the impact the medical falls away from 1 October due to BBB. BBB, oh, Big Beautiful Bill. Well, Liesel, that's a fair concern, but why aren't they getting jobs? Your medical care comes through your jobs. People want handouts? I don't have eye care. I don't have dental care. I have to pay for it out of pocket. If anybody deserves that stuff, I do. And veterans who served for 40 years in uniform defending this country, I don't have eye care. I haven't seen an eye doctor since 2019 in my exit examination from the Army. I need a prescription. I have to pay for that out of pocket. My dentist, I'll be seeing my dentist on June 8th. That's coming out of my pocket. I don't understand why people want freebies. U.S. is top healthcare. Yep. Tried around. It seemed like they were about to let me in until I told them that I liked the new Odyssey trailer and they don't call us. I have no idea what that is. Can't wait to give the custom rugby shirt to me. Thank you, James. In my interview group, there was an Afrikaner married to Chinese lady and mixed children. It's not just Afrikaner colored Indians. Yeah, well, we also have a refugee who's in Tampa, Florida, married to a Filipino and has kids. Again, primary applicant. Alan says, like we say, you can take a person out of the trailer park, but you can't get the trailer park. Exactly. Interviews and medicals between October and November are still under review. Started May 2026. No, you mean May 2025. Okay, so Varushka. So when I'm done here, I have to go to the Veterans Organization for a couple hours. When I'm done there, I'm coming back here. I'm driving to Carlisle, which is a half-hour drive for me. I'm picking up Varushka, driving back a half hour to get a coffee in the place where she has been offered a job. And I'm going to take her by the building where she's been offered a job, and I'm going to go drive by the apartment complex that I found online, which was in walking distance, to just get a feel for it. And then the plan is, if it's not too late, to swing by the bookstore and show her some of the shops around that area. I don't get paid for that. That, Varushka, nothing against you, because I offered to do it, but that is a huge inconvenience for me personally. It's going to eat 3 or 4 hours of my time to help a person out, but she deserves that help. She's a go-getter. She's trying very hard, and there's no one else that's around to do that. So I've offered to do that on a Sunday for her. That's what people who care do. That's what they do. They take their time. Okay? There's no romance brewing. Sorry. Stop that nonsense, Corey, or I'll move your comment. I've done more and the same for other refugees. Okay? Debit went off my cap ticket yesterday, and I paid my friend's rent that's looking after my dog. Yeah, exactly. So again, it's a hit and miss. It's not everybody. The Smiths say you have such a kind heart. I do, Smiths, but I mean, I get attacked for it by these nasty people. Nasty, nasty people. There are a lot of them out there. They really are. They actually get a life. Jasper says, if you want to ask anybody here, it's scary how many are struggling to open police cases where they are. I know we get no help. We were called crybabies or told they can't open a case. Will refugee be allowed to bring alternative medication over that's not approved? No. If medication is banned in America, you can't bring it. To my knowledge, it'll be confiscated unless you bring it in and it doesn't get caught. Nope. Walmart doesn't like Capitat. That's true. Ungrateful refugees have been bashing the women's group, expecting free handouts. Ladies helping out do their own pockets. Yeah, no, you're right. I haven't seen that recently, but I know that Antoinette's group is very frustrated. There's all people so frustrated. They've been helping. They've been doing this out of their pockets, helping people, and it's amazing. You know, that whole thing back. This is why I'm getting slammed by these people that don't know what they're talking about. The family of so many that wanted to go back, and they run around and make these videos and think they know what they're talking about. And then the idiot who made the video accusing me of attacking that family and getting the facts wrong, claiming I didn't know what I was talking about, I didn't do my research, doesn't know what she's talking about. And then she made a video in which she admitted that I was correct, but she didn't say I was correct. Well, Stephen, tapping and inserting is not specific to Capitec. I get that all the time in America. Sometimes some of my credit cards won't work with a tap, even though they're proof of that, I have to put in. Be honest with you, I didn't start tapping my credit card until very recently because I don't trust it. You can ask all day long if you want, Marshall, whether I'm married. Yes, I'm married. I have 16 wives in 13 countries in Africa, and I have 42 children. I'm single-handedly browning Africa. That's the reason I need super chats. Give me your super chats. Send me the money because I have to pay Lobola, and Lobola is expensive. That bribe wealth is costing me a fortune. Every year, I spend tens of thousands of dollars to marry off my kids, to marry my kids off. It costs me a fortune, and none of you have any empathy for my predicament. None of you have it. You know what? When I tell people I have 42 children, you know what they always tell me? The arrogance. Do you know what they tell me? You should have kept it in your pants. Why should I keep it in my pants? Oh, you wouldn't want to meet all my wives. Got them all over. Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, Liberia, Ghana, they're all over Africa, man. Exactly. And it says, yeah, colored kids are expensive. I wait, matzo kiddos. Well, I can't wear 10 wedding rings. It's by the way, I said 16 wedding bands. I couldn't possibly do that. Moved to Germany in January 18 before I opened a Bidvest account. They have, because Bidvest is bank in England, it works better overseas. My gold mines pension gets paid. Oh, there you go. Palm Street. May the force be with you. Would you still want to have kids? Why not? Here's pizza party. Here's the thing. Would I want to have kids? Let me answer that question directly. Of course. Why wouldn't I? I don't carry them. Someone else gestates them. I don't get morning sickness. I don't get bloated. I don't get migraines. That's not my burden. Yes, Veroshka is single, Pearl. You're correct. No, but I realized that Veroshka is still living in a hotel. She's been here for a month and a half, you know? So, yeah, it's just something I do to help her out, you know? Adopt me. Well, of course I'm making my own Wyatt Army. Charles says, my Swazi wife keeps calling. Nev says, my mate bought his 3-month-old pair of Lacoste baby shoes for 800 Rand back in the day. Insanity. Color kids are expensive indeed. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah. So, look, that's how I always answer that question. It's nobody's business whether I'm married, whether I'm not married, whether I'm straight, whether I'm gay. It's nobody's business. It isn't germane to the conversation. It isn't germane to the conversation. You can ask it, but if I were, I wouldn't disclose that. That's unfair to your partner or your spouse and your kids. There's no need for that. You see the abuse that I get, the fake attacks, the slander that people come after me. It's ridiculous. It's okay, Marshall Eagle. I wasn't being a smart aleck to you. I just answer the way I always answer it, okay? Sounds like a great song. Single-handedly browning Africa. Yep. Yeah. No, look, the Dutch arrived and they hooked up with the Stradlopers, the Koi, and then the San, and produced offspring, and the color community sprung out of it. And I'm just, restarting that whole process that began 400 years ago, just trying to get it re-going. But my surname is not Fundameva or Bezuidenhout. Steve may have more kids than me, Debbie. That's true. Went to the cops, reported that a black man said that all us whites are going to be killed, and he's starting with my family. The cops said, how do you expect us to catch him? Well, James, it's a fair question. How do you expect the cops to catch him? Did you get his name? Did you take a photograph? Anyway, well, this has been fun. Thanks for the super chat revenue, guys. Lucinda says, you are kind-hearted and fantastical. People say otherwise. They need to get a life. Silently watching, you're a legend with a good heart. Well, thank you. I have a kid in Africa that I feed, I clothe, I send to school for $1 a day. It was a lot cheaper than it cost to send him there. Okay. In my own colored nations. Exactly, Hendo. I miss Hendo. I haven't seen Hendo in a couple of years. I need to get back to the UK and see Hendo. It's been a while. It's time. It's time, Hendo. We get something more than just a lunch next time. Maybe I'll stay for a day down that way before I fly back. Hopeful for better. Thank you for the 40 Rand super chat. That's very kind of you. So, guys, the cap has been raised by 10,000. That means, all things being equal, at least 2,500 should come every month for the rest of this fiscal year. What does that mean when that cap is expired? Well, the administration will have to submit a new cap number to Congress in August or September. Usually it's done in August. And then we'll know what the number is for next year. So we'll see how it goes. So expect it to probably be at least 17,000 again, maybe more. We'll see. Okay. Yep. Okay. Thank you for the poll. Yeah, I think I saved those other questions. Let me see. I pasted that. Yeah, I've got the other questions. I'll consider doing the poll. Thank you for that, Safa Dreams. Yep. All right, that's going to do it. Be sure to hit the like button. I'm off to the Veterans Organization to check in there, what's going on. Also to go through some of these emails I've got from South Africans. These are just a small selection of emails from today that I printed out. Just today. It's so much to do. All right. Congratulations, Jasper, for your in person, okay? Bank Zero Mutual Bank. Hold on a second. What is that? Before I go anywhere, what is it? Bank Zero Mutual Account. Never heard of that. Bank Zero Mutual Bank. That's in South Africa. That's not an American bank. It's a real bank according to this. According to this, it's a real bank. It's owned by Liseka Technology. Sounds like a BEE operation. Co-founded in 2018 by Michael Jordan and Yatsen Narsai. Sounds like an Indian and an Afrikaner. Yep. So doesn't tell me how many assets they have, but it's a real bank. From here, it's slow to get to. I'm trying to get to it now. I got fast access. Just got there now. Top 40 digitally. That's what they claim. So yeah, it's a real bank. But I've never heard of it. First I heard of it just there when you ask about it. Oh, we're up to 126,902. Can we push it to 127,000 subscriptions? You're welcome, Amelia. Sorry for the lines, yeah. FMB Founders Family. There you go. Well, there you go. There. Oh, that Michael Jordan. Okay. So there you go. So it's real. I got zero in my bank. I wonder. I have to check into that. because I need a place to deposit some money. I wonder if I can join from overseas. Bank zero. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Be sure to hit the like button. I will do a night owls tonight after I get back and take care of stuff, and we I go around with Veroshka to show her around. You're welcome. All right. Cheers, everybody. Take care of yourself. Okay? Here we go. Grass is greener.
They come to our shores with a suitcase dream, chasing the glow of that golden beam. From far off lands where shadows lie, here they find a brighter sky. Every step, every mile, they're reaching for the American style. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for.
Well, thank you, Safa Dreams. A friend of yours. I didn't know that. Why don't you introduce me to him? Introduce me to him, Safa.
Factories hum with a steady grace, ideas born in this boundless space. A light bulb flash, a towering steel in every corner. The promise feels real. From the ground to the stars, we're built on dreams, we're raising bars. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener.